Very warm welcome back to the Ultimate GT Endurance Cup for the final time in 2024. We are qualifying to set the grid for our 6-hour season finale at Circuit Paul Ricard. The championships have largely been sewn up, but we do have some fantastic entries in a 19-car field that will do battle tomorrow morning throughout the day. So qualifying one already underway. As it's the average of 3 qualifying sessions that will set the grid for the 6-hour. A wonderful mix of cars in the top class. The UCS1 category with a smattering of GT3 machineries mixed up with the Vortexes. And we do also have quite a few Porsche Cup entries as well, 6 of them, in fact. So that's very much where the action has been throughout the year. So should be a rather thrilling conclusion to the season. Chris Stevens and Claire Cottingham in the commentary box for this qualifying session. And Claire, lots of cars on the grid, 19 of them.
19 indeed, and not only that, we've got Mr. Sébastien Loeb out there, 9-time rally champion. So that's exciting to see the VIP drivers getting involved in Ultimate Cup to finish off the season in style. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the 6 hours tomorrow. It's going to be fascinating. We've seen 6 hours for the prototype before, and that was a fun race. So that was back in Portimao. So I'm looking forward to a big grid for tomorrow's 6 hours.
Yeah, it has been confirmed for both the European Endurance Prototype Cup and the Ultimate GT Endurance Cup that we will have, again, a mixture of 6- and 4-hour races for 2025. And yes, as you mentioned, Sébastien Loeb out there in the Vortex 2.0, joining Arnaud and Olivier Gomez, who took their first victory in the Vortex 2.0 in Magny-Cours, the 4-hour race last time out. So they're in a rich vein of form. They've got a rallying legend alongside them for this weekend. And so this is very much, I think, an inkling of what to expect with the new Vortex Challenge that is being introduced for next year, where we've been told to expect some very high-profile and VIP drivers joining with 5 or 6 Vortexes expected at each round for next year to join alongside these guys in the Alpine Cup that was teased to the drivers during the briefing yesterday as well. So as well as the Vortex Challenge, we'll also have an Alpine Endurance Cup as well. Details on that a little bit thin on the ground as it stands, but we should have more news about that during the off-season. Right, one of our guest entries for this weekend is the Haas Racing Team. Great to have the Belgian outfit with us. Xavier Nelf and Gregory Savard, who are racing this weekend in preparation for the Gulf 12 Hours, their second attempt at the Abu Dhabi endurance race, their 12-hour there. And they've already announced as well that alongside them will be Casper Stevenson and John Corbett, who of course we know from the European Endurance Prototype Cup with the Graf Racing Team alongside James Winslow. And so great to have both Xavier and Gregory out there, and it is currently Gregory at the wheel of the car, both bronze-rated drivers, and both also took part in the Spa 12-hour back in April, the Creventic race as well. And in fact, they have the fastest time of the weekend before qualifying, set in FP2 at 2:02.059, but with some fresh tyres, some fresh sticker Goodyears. I imagine we'll see that time tumble.
I'm sure we will indeed as the times start coming in. We've seen a bit of changing conditions. When we came in this morning at around 7 o'clock, it was still raining, so it must have been raining overnight, and there was a chilly old wind out there. The wind has dropped significantly, but what I find really interesting about this track is because it's so flat at different parts, when you go to the pit lane, obviously the pit boxes start to really shade you, but when you walk back out towards the commentary box, which is a lot flatter, suddenly all the wind comes back to you. So in certain parts of this track, it's going to be quite blowy out there.
Yeah, I think the biggest hill on the racetrack is the big dip in the pit lane, in where the second lot of garages are, because we are right next to an airfield here. Just to the right of picture here, there will be some small, light aircraft.
I've only seen one so far.
I've seen a few.
Oh, have you? I only saw one. I've been in the pit lane more than you have.
Well, I've been the lucky one, obviously. Yeah, there are some light aircraft taking off just next to the circuit and landing, of course. And so, yeah, tends to be in quite a gusty area. It's one of many Vortex we have out. I didn't actually keep track. I think it's 4 this weekend. 3 of the 2.0, yes, and then 1 of the previous generation 1.0 car, and it's 4 drivers alongside that. So still Jimmy Lemunier, Stéphane Gouvenet, and Christophe Derenu, but they are being joined this weekend by Alexandre de Bernardis. So UCS 3 category car, not alone, because we also have a GT4 Alpine that is racing in UCS 3. Normally you would see that in UCS 4, but it's the Evo version of that car, so it doesn't actually qualify for the 3rd category. And so that is the Signatech run team, 2 bronze drivers, Julian Gilbert and Jean-Mathieu Leandri, being joined by Jim Pla, gold-rated driver. So that will certainly be a very rapid car in his hands. 2B Autosport here, also being joined by Hugo Chevalier, who we've seen out in GT Sprint earlier in the weekend, driving the Mercedes DTM car, but still the lad and dad combination of Romain and Olivier Favre alongside Jan Penlu. Romain Favre also on double duties this weekend, racing for Inter-Europol competition in the European Endurance Prototype Cup in their LMP3 car. I think they've qualified 3rd, haven't they, for that race? So they'll certainly have a good starting position for tonight's race.
Seen quite a few different drivers across different championships. We've seen Adrian Klosmanil win in Formula Cup earlier, and also taking part in the prototype tomorrow, starting 6th on the grid, I believe.
I think so. They're right up there.
They are up there indeed. So it's very good to see. They're definitely. I always wonder if it must be harder for them if they're going across a couple of races, or it's easier because they get more track time.
Well, I often wonder this as well, and I think about a driver like Hugo Chevalier, who's been given one of the fastest cars that you can race out there. It was significantly faster than any GT3 car, and now he's stepping down effectively into the Porsche Cup car from 2B Autosport, which is still jolly fast, but not quite as fast as a DTM.
We're very British then, isn't it? It's jolly fast.
It is jolly quick.
Yeah, he was having a lovely time, wasn't he, in that DTM car, which he called a monster before we spoke to him on the grid, and managed to win, I think, by about 15 seconds in the end, didn't he, over the rest of the field. But obviously guest cars don't win any points, so it went elsewhere. But yeah, he was very excited, I think, and he had that beautiful Ford as well, didn't he? Was it last time out?
Yes, in Manicourt, the Matec Ford GT.
That was a good car.
Yeah, Eric Debard's certainly been giving him a lot of good presents lately, hasn't he? I don't think Debard is not represented on this field in terms of Debard automobiles. It's all GT Sprint that they're racing in. But we do have Seb Lejeune racing as well, because they're doing a combined effort as well. So Seb Lejeune racing back with their Porsche Cup car of Seb Lejeune, Mathieu Martin, Stéphane Perrin and Louis Perrault. So 2 silver class drivers aboard their car for this one. GP Racing was also out in GT Sprint there as well. But this is a look at the Pro Sport entry, the 901 machine, which is quite a nice entry, actually, that 901 car. So Simon Balsian, their bronze driver, I imagine will be out in the second session. He's done his whole career with Pro Sports. Alex Homerson, who we'll see out later as well, the NLS racer, but currently at the wheel is their second silver class driver, Stephen Pallett. So lots of championships to his name, from GT World Challenge Sprint and also the Asian Le Mans Series as well. But very adept to Porsche machinery, racing in Porsche Super Cup and Carrera Cup France in recent years. Right, we alluded to the new Alpine Endurance Cup. Alexandre Aubin is down in the pit lane. He's at the Chazelle Technology Course Garage with Louis Chazelle, their team manager.
Well, apologies there. Hopefully we'll be able to head back down to Alex. I think we're having a couple of technical difficulties with the microphone. Sometimes in certain parts of the pit lane it doesn't work. So there you go.
Yeah, it's always fun when that happens. Right, well, in the meantime, with 4 minutes left on the clock, it is Gregory Survey in the Haas Racing Team. Audi that is currently fastest by 2.7 seconds to Arnaud Gomez in the Vortex. Amir Naran is the next fastest of the GT3 cars. The Vimana by Get Speed Mercedes is back with us this weekend. Let's have another attempt at hearing from Louis Chazelle down in pit lane.
Louis, a priori on a réglé les problèmes de son, on va vous entendre. Vous êtes de retour en nombre avec 4 Alpines ce week-end et une A110 GT4 dont vous allez nous parler.
Oui, tout à fait, on est très content d'être là. Ce week-end, on a 4 Alpine A110 Cup engagés avec 14 pilotes, ainsi qu'une Alpine A110 GT4. Voilà, un beau week-end en perspective, une belle bagarre en interne pour la catégorie UCS Light. Tout s'annonce pour le moment très bien.
On a une course de 6 heures au programme, c'est la première de l'histoire du championnat. On sait qu'en 4 heures, pour une Alpine, c'est déjà un petit peu difficile. Pour 6 heures, vous l'avez préparé comment ?
Comme quand on prépare une 4 heures, on l'a préparé de la manière la plus sérieuse possible. Les voitures aujourd'hui sont très fiables, donc on n'a pas de souci à ce niveau-là. On a une bonne capacité en essence dans notre réservoir, donc on va pouvoir faire des assez longs relais. On a des pilotes voilà, qui sont prêts, donc tous les ingrédients sont réunis pour préparer une belle course de 6 heures.
Et puis vous avez l'habitude d'avoir vos gentleman drivers, vous avez aussi des jeunes pilotes qui viennent s'essayer à l'Alpine ?
Ouais, exactement, c'est un peu le mix ce week-end entre nos pilotes gentlemen qui viennent pour se faire plaisir et aussi quelques nouveaux pilotes jeunes qui ont moins de 18 ans qui viennent préparer l'avenir, préparer la saison prochaine. Donc voilà, tout ça dans un bon esprit. Donc voilà, il y aura une belle bagarre en piste à mon avis.
Merci Louis.
So Chazelle Technology course here with 5 cars, 4 of the Alpine A110 Cup cars, and also running the Signatech GT4 Evo Alpine, the number 36 car, as well in UCS3. So Louis Chazelle, certainly a very busy boy down in the garage this weekend. So yeah, let's continue running down the order then. Gregory Savard leads this Q1 session for the Haas Racing Team. Arnaud Gomez second in the number 20 Vortex, winners last time out. Miguel Moila in the sister number 22 Vortex is third fastest at the moment. And then the Porsche Cup battle is in 4th, 5th and 6th. That's Stephen Pallett for Pro Sport, Victor Bernier for GP Racing and Jan Penlu for 2B Autosport. Then comes Emir Naran, the Get Speed team that won quite dramatically in Mugello, taking the lead away from the Gomez brothers on the final lap of the race. So Amir Naran and Tom Jackson back at the wheel after completing their GT Open campaign. It's currently Amir, the Zimbabwean, at the wheel of the car. Then comes Jimmy Lemunier in the previous generation Vortex. Jean-Paul Pani in the championship winning Vision Ferrari. They've already sealed the overall crown for this year. Cyril Calmon in the 21 Vortex, that completes the top 10. Then further down, Stéphane Perrin in the Porsche Cup car for Seb Lejoux Racing, and Julien Gilbert in the Signatech Alpine. UCS Light, it's the 110 car that currently leads the way, Felix Capet. So less than 30 seconds left on the clock now, and I like this this livery on the number 22 Vortex. It's a bit Halloween themed because they've got sort of blood splatters and the shark teeth on the front.
Yeah, is it matte as well? It kind of went out of our...
It's just bare carbon.
Oh, okay, because I want to go and have a proper look at it, but yeah, no, I really like it.
It looks very mean with the bare carbon.
It's got teeth.
Yes, very Halloween themed.
Yeah. I wonder what the thinking was behind that.
Not quite sure. I mean,
sorry to talk over you. I seem to remember we had a carbon one last time out at Magny Cours as well that was just black.
Yes, we did.
So yeah, we're going one up this time.
Yeah, a little bit. Little by little, they'll keep adding more livery on it until we get to next season. Checkered flag is out. Gregory Survey there in the Haas Racing Team Audi. That we're seeing on our screens right now is fastest in Q1. So good start to his day. Gregory Survey hasn't been benefiting from the additional track time in Ultimate GT Sprint Cup as his teammate Xavier Nauf has, but clearly he does not need it. 2.7 seconds clear of the rest of the field.
That's the number 1 Vision car, which hasn't won in the last couple of races, but checker flag obviously out, as Chris said. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the number 1 car could do this weekend as well. At the moment, Jean-Paul Pagnet at the wheel. David Hallyday is not here this weekend. Their usual teammates, the 3 of them taking part. Oh, is he here?
No. I thought we speculated about whether he was going to be here in Magny-Cours because he's on tour, isn't he?
He is on tour. We worked this out probably, I think, in the second round. I think maybe we were working that one out, that David Hallyday wouldn't be here. And indeed, we got it right. He's on tour in, I think it was Germany. I'll have a look in a minute. But yeah, not joining them for this weekend.
Yeah, so it's Roman Iannetta who has jumped in once again, as he did in Hockenheim, I believe it was. Yes, it was. And so, yeah, it's strange to say that Vision car hasn't won for a couple of races, bearing in mind they won all bar one race last year, but they haven't won since Hockenheim, the third meeting of the season when Roman was last in the car, but a Whelen NASCAR Euro Series race winner, but more recently has been appearing in the GT4 European Series. So I imagine we'll see him out a little bit later on. Jean-Paul Pani and Jean-Bernard Bouvet have already been confirmed champions for 2024.
He's in Paris. Touring in Paris. He's got... well, actually, he's in Lille first tomorrow, and then on the 12th and the 13th, he's in Paris. So
I can imagine that having to do a 6-hour race might get in the way of...
Yeah, I don't know. The show starts at 8:30. No, he couldn't have made it, yeah. If it had been an earlier race, he could have done that. It depends
which stint
and he could have flown out from the airport.
If he did the first stint, then he would have easily made it.
He could have done it.
Somebody get onto David Halliday's manager and tell him to work on his schedule. There is Jean-Paul Pani just bringing the Vision into pit lane. Those tyres do looking very good, Nick, don't they? They look like they've barely done any work at all.
Who was it we were talking to earlier about tyres? Was it about...
Oh, James?
Yeah,
James
no, that's because of weather, though, wasn't it? Because they... Oh, no, it wasn't. It was someone else, but I can't remember. It will come back to me in a minute. But they were saying they couldn't push very hard out there because of the changing conditions. But I guess there's no change in conditions, so my point's a bit null and void.
Yes. Maybe it was
honestly,
Pedro
can't remember who it was. I'll go silent for a bit. I'll think about it.
Oh, I know who it was. Carl van der Westen, was it not?
Yes, it was Carl van der Westen. Yes,
yeah,
it was.
After the GT sprint race.
Yes.
Because we had we did have a very wet start to the day. Circuit looks unrecognisable compared to this morning. It is still blooming freezing out there, though.
It's not that cold.
It's not freezing, but there's quite a stiff breeze, and I would like an extra layer when I'm outside.
Yeah, it's mainly the breeze. The ambient the ambient temperature is not that cold, but it is that very cold, sharp breeze that we've got coming across. But I'm only in a jumper, and I feel okay.
Yes, but I'm not in a jumper at all. I've just
got a jacket on.
I've got the jacket, the very thin jacket.
Yeah, no, I did. This is actually a very warm jumper.
14 degrees ambient temperature, according to the big sign above the start-finish straight, which is not what you expect for the south of France, even in November, because all of my weather apps were telling me that it was going to be nice and lovely.
You need new weather apps.
Yes, I know, because they keep lying to me. I've been caught out in many, many races so far.
You really have.
But I do at least have an umbrella with me this weekend, which I did not when I was in Budapest, and it absolutely hooned it down.
Well, there's actually a warning for thunderstorms from 10 a.m. today till 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Really?
No, till midnight tomorrow morning.
Today? Yeah.
Yes, there's going to be rain in 4 minutes. Ooh, there's an interview.
Well, we both just looked out of the window quite ominously. So while we check out the weather, let's head down to Alexander in the pit lane.
Je suis avec l'auteur du meilleur temps en Q1, Grégory. Une qualification réussie, on vous imagine satisfait.
Ouais, franchement, c'est pas mal. C'est toujours un exercice pas facile de pouvoir faire un bon chrono, en tout cas le meilleur possible en quelques tours. Mais je suis vraiment content de tout le travail que le team a fait sur la voiture. On a une super bagnole, pas juste en qualif, mais aussi je pense en rythme de course, on est vraiment très bien. Donc voilà, j'espère que mon coéquipier Xavier va être dans le même rythme et on va pouvoir bien se positionner sur la grille pour demain.
Vous allez remonter dans la voiture en Q3. Quel va être l'objectif? Réitérer le chrono? Il y a encore des dixièmes à aller chercher.
Ouais, je pense que voilà, j'aime toujours faire un peu mieux et je pense qu'au vu des datas, il y a certainement possibilité d'aller chercher un 0-1. Donc ce sera l'objectif pour la Q3.
Eh ben, on va suivre ça et voir si vous arrivez à atteindre cet objectif. Merci Grégory.
So Q2 now underway. Driver changes have happened, and it is now Roman Iannetta aboard that car. I'll just give you a quick update on what Alex has been told there. Happy about the car in qualifying and race pace, and hoping to get further up the grid. Got the translation coming in a little bit further. So trying to do well, try and improve the lap times when he's back out there for Q3. But improving with every lap of this circuit. Paul Ricard. Right, so Roman Iannetta now aboard the Vision Ferrari. So, man, we were talking about earlier, the nephew of fellow Le Mans racer Alain Iannetta, but has also dabbled into some motorcycle racing. So Roman Iannetta's got a very eclectic racing career out there, career in general as well. We brought this up in Hockenheim, but he's also a flight instructor and a World Stunt Award winner for his work in The Bourne Identity as well. So hopefully he can pull a stunt and put that car top of the timesheets for the Vision team. Xavier now also aboard the Haas Racing team. But while these cars warm up in the early stages of this Q2 session, let's head back down to pit lane.
Jimmy, une première Q1 pour vous cette saison, un exercice un peu différent dans ces qualifications. Comment vous l'avez vécu?
Un exercice différent, je me rends compte qu'en fait un pneu neuf, c'est vraiment un gap énorme. Ça corrige beaucoup de défauts sur l'auto, ça permet aussi de corriger quelques défauts du pilote et ça permet de tout de suite être dans le jeu, d'attaquer dès le premier tour. Il y a vraiment un gap de 2 tours où c'est impressionnant. Ouais.
Vous m'avez confié que le début de week-end n'était pas si facile, que vous aviez essayé un nouveau setup, vous en êtes satisfait?
C'est ça, ben en fait on n'a pas vraiment pu essayer l'auto, il y a eu quelques petits soucis techniques, hein, ça fait partie de ce sport. Et le peu qu'on a essayé, il manquait un petit peu de train avant. Et avec le setup, l'auto nous permet d'avoir une conduite un petit peu plus agressive, vraiment des entrées en cours beaucoup plus incisives et c'est vraiment top. Ouais.
La course de 6 heures demain, ça va être un nouvel exercice, 2 heures plus long que d'habitude. Vous l'appréhendez comment?
Alors c'est différent oui et non, puisqu'on a un 4e pilote avec nous sur cette course pour la première fois qui va nous accompagner. Donc on devrait rouler à peu près sur un gap de temps identique chacun. Et puis le tout c'est d'être à l'arrivée de toute manière et puis de profiter de la fin de saison avec tout le monde.
Merci Jimmy.
Avec plaisir.
Jimmy Lemunier there from the 701 Vortex crew. It's the previous generation 1.0 car. Just commentating about how much better the car feels on fresh tyres. And yes, that is quite a good point, because sometimes when drivers tell me just how many kilometres they've done on tyres that they use for testing and free practice sessions, you wonder how they've got any life left in them at all, and think, well, yeah, of course it's going to feel rubbish. You must really put your faith in the fact that fresh tyres are going to solve all of your handling woes. But they also have tried a new setup, much more aggressive for the 1.0. And they will have to take a very different approach, as we have a 6-hour rather than a 4-hour, but ultimately aiming to have fun as always with the all-bronze lineup in that 701 car. Right, Tom Jackson now aboard the Vimana by GetSpeed Mercedes, the silver class driver, the only silver class driver, one of only 2 non-gentleman drivers in UCS1 for this weekend, Sébastien Loeb being the other one. Was fastest in FP1 yesterday. So unleashes the taps on that 6.2 litre V8 engine. And Not sure if he had that time deleted because it hasn't come up on the timing screen, but certainly not wasting any time out there. Looking very good, and of course we all remember Tom Jackson and the Vortex 2.0. Somebody was squealing their tyres in the hotel chicane. Sounded like someone went for a spin. Yeah, we all remember Tom Jackson and Mugello, that extremely entertaining battle he had with the Vortex and taking the lead away from the Gomez brothers on the final lap of the race.
That was a good race.
It was absolutely fantastic,
That was a very
wasn't
good
it?
race. Yeah, it's one of those ones that I think, oh, I might go rewatch that.
Yeah, it's a real tit for tat with Jackson making many attempts on the Vortex that didn't necessarily come off, and yes, the changing conditions we had then as well.
That was fun.
Yeah, let's see. Well, now they've got an additional challenge now with Sébastien Loeb aboard the Vortex that they were competing with last time out in last time they were out in Mugello.
What's how much sports car racing, well, GT racing, things like this, has Sébastien Loeb done?
I'm glad you asked, Claire.
It's like I set you up for it.
Yes. So, as we all know, 9 times World Rally champion, absolute legend. But he has competed in the FIA GT series in the mid-2000s and also the World Touring Car Championship.
Oh yeah, I did know that.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, I did know that.
Finished second in the 2006 Le Mans 24 Hours with Pescarolo. So he has done touring cars, he's done GTs, he has done prototypes, he's done a bit of everything.
Not a lot recently, though, as in...
No.
So it'd be interesting to see... I know, obviously, a racing driver is a racing driver at the end of the day, but it'd be interesting to see how he fares this weekend.
Well, so at the ripe age
Tom Jackson's just gone fastest, sorry.
Yes, he has. But at the ripe age of 50... Oh, hang on, let's have a look at this Tom Jackson replay. Well, that's flirting with danger on track limits, isn't it?
Oh, no, he's car 20, isn't he? So seeing some laps being deleted for track limits in turn 17 coming in for 288, but that's not Tom Jackson, that's Jean-Paul Dominici. 288.
288.
Down here.
Yes, Dominici, I think.
Dominici was the Italian.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm just assuming the pronunciation there. But on Sébastien Loeb, so his most recent thing, I think he did full time, because basically since he retired...
So I think Tom Jackson's just had that lap deleted because he's just moved down to 18th.
Yes, he has, with no best lap set. So his 2:01.4 has been disallowed, but he has gone fastest again in the first sector. Do you know what? We'll do the Sébastien Loeb bit when he's out in Q3. So Tom Jackson fastest in the first sector as it stands. New livery for the
second sector
for the L'Espace Bienvenu BMW. And so I thought, because they had this livery out for GT Sprint, that they had 2 different cars, but in fact that's just a new livery for them. So this is Olivier Gomez, currently fastest in this session, but Tom Jackson is the man lighting up the timing screen at the moment. He's a couple of cars in front of him, in fact, just up the road, and Gomez does have a little bit of traffic in front of him in the form of Xavier Nauf. Jackson does look like he's about to go fastest as Gomez is bound for pit lane. Here comes Tom Jackson across the line. And the time when he gets there is only second fastest because...
he's down in third sector.
Yeah, the last sector was not particularly good. So 1.1 seconds off of Olivier Gomez in the end, 2:04.0.
At least that one wasn't deleted, though.
No, quite. But it must be said, that's, quite far away from the 2:02.5 he set in FP1, which was the benchmark time in that session.
It's quite a lot in that third sector. He's lucky to be second fastest, to be honest.
I'm really wondering how he could have lost that time. I can only assume it was some sort of off-track excursion, because I don't think he had that much traffic in front of him, to be honest. But well, we'll see. And he is broadly on the pace in the first sector. It wasn't lightning fast, but still a very recoverable lap, certainly. So, 2B Autosports crew watching on there. They've already had some success in the GT Sprint earlier today. We've had 2 races so far, and it's 1 apiece for the Van der Westens. But no number 14 crew for GT Endurance this weekend. It's just the one car that... the 2 cars, because the sister car is the 417 with the all-bronze trio of Frédéric Grillet, Philippe Châtelet and Jean-Pierre Ancelin. This doesn't look like the lap for Tom Jackson.
No, he's backed off here, isn't he?
But well, maybe if he keeps it neat and tidy in the 3rd sector, he might still improve the lap time. In fairness, even though he hasn't done a personal best in either of the first 2 sectors.
But he has taken time out of both the 1st and 2nd sectors of Olivier Gomez. So, like you say, the 3rd sector needs to be better than his last one, which was 4 seconds off the pace.
Bit of traffic here for GP Racing, the Alpine directly in front of them. And yes, Tom Jackson did blitz the final sector there and does go fastest on it, 2:02.0. But we know there's more time inside that car. And of course, he'll want to push that car as far up as he can to help the average, because Amir Naran has got to do 2 of the qualifying sessions as the bronze-rated driver, and they've only got 2 drivers in their lineup. Whereas the Vortex, for example, they've got a gold and 2 bronzes.
They're a very fast pair, though, the 2 of them. Watching the way that they raced in Mugello was poetic.
What was most impressive for Amir, especially considering this is his 1st year of racing, not just in GT3, and he's only had a handful of outings this year owing to his quite busy schedule. But he was lapping very competitively on slick tyres on a wet track at the time. That was the standout performance, really, for me out there. Anthony Baltois there, just bounded for pit lane. So 93, Anthony de Barn here, the fastest car in UCS Light as it stands. So it was the 110 car in Q1. Of course, that UCS Light battle between the 4 Chazelle Technology course run Alpine A110 Cup cars, as it has been throughout the campaign.
Tom lives near me. Well, he was born near, he's from Maidstone in Kent. I live quite near to there. Just interesting looking at the notes that you've made there. He's from Maidstone in Kent. So nice little place, Maidstone.
You wouldn't tell talking to him, would you?
That he's from Kent?
That he's from Maidstone.
Do you think?
Or from Kent. No.
Do you know much about Kent?
I know a little bit.
Like but what do you mean? Because of we're going to have to talk about this off air?
No.
Do you mean
just because of his accent?
His accent's quite Kentish.
Oh, careful what you say there.
No, that's a good thing. Like the
no,
sort
it just sounds you're very close to saying a no-no word.
Hey, look, I used to work for a radio station that was Radio Kent. We had Kent County Council. We had lots of things we had to say.
Oh,
so
blimey.
I am well versed in that. Don't you worry.
What a juggler. 2 minutes left on the clock, and Tom Jackson from Maidstone has reduced his lap time even further, but we've got a spin here for the number 36.
Oh, nice spin.
Alpine. That is the GT4 car, Jean-Mathieu Leandri. That is currently 19th and slowest with no lap time on the board.
Well, that's not going to help the tyres much, is it? It's quite a big lock-up as well.
Yes, quite a big rotation into turn 1. Ooh, 2 Porsche Cup cars getting very close in the exit of the hotel chicane. They're Pro Sports making their way through. Simon Balsian, one of their bronze drivers in that car. And speaking of Pro Sport, let's head down into the Pro Sport garage.
Je suis en compagnie de Steven Palette dans le stand Pro Sport. Steven, une Q1, comment elle s'est passée pour vous?
Ça a été, on a mis un tour à peu près clean. C'est assez compliqué avec le trafic, il y a pas mal de disparités. Les pneus c'était là que dans le premier tour, donc je dois doubler quelqu'un secteur 3, donc on perd un peu. Mais bon, sur une course de 6 heures, c'est pas vraiment important de partir devant, donc on est sur le plan de marche pour l'instant.
C'est la première fois que l'équipe Pro Sport vient cette saison en Ultimate Cup. Vous êtes satisfait de ce début de meeting?
Oui, je connais bien l'équipe et puis plus particulièrement Simon, parce qu'on a déjà fait Dubaï ensemble début d'année, donc ça s'était bien passé. Donc là, Simon m'a dit il y a quelques semaines, allez viens, on y va pour cette dernière. Et donc pour l'instant, tout se passe bien et on est content d'être là.
On a une catégorie Porsche Cup qui est toujours relevée cette année en Ultimate Cup. L'objectif, ça va être d'aller chercher la victoire?
Oui, on est là pour ça. C'est sûr que c'est intéressant cette catégorie 92 Cup parce qu'il y a quand même du niveau, que ça soit dans les bronzes qui connaissent bien les voitures et puis même chacun un ou deux bons pilotes dans la voiture. Donc ça va être intéressant et même s'il y a peu de voitures, on n'est que 6 ou 7 je crois, il faudra vraiment être bon sur tous les plans pour espérer jouer quelque chose et la victoire.
On vous sait multitâche, pilote, coach. Est-ce que vous savez déjà ce que vous ferez l'année prochaine? Est-ce que ça continuera peut-être avec ProSport?
Je suis un peu couteau suisse effectivement, même si je ne suis pas suisse. Mais voilà, on verra de quoi sera fait mon année. J'ai beaucoup d'implications dans différents teams. Voilà, donc on verra ce que je fais.
Merci Steven.
Stephen Patlantz in the Pro Sports garage. Q1 was very hard for him with the traffic, but saying it's not that important because it's a 6-hour race. And so plenty of time to try and make up some ground, and says he's here waiting because he knows Simon very well, their bronze driver, Simon Balsiam. And so he's obviously asked him up to join for this weekend. And says the Porsche Cup category is going to be quite interesting because there are quite a few good drivers out there in the Porsche Cup category, and he's very, very right about that. Of course, we've got Hugo Chevalier out there in Porsche Cup machinery, as well as Romain Favre, as well as Anthony Beltois, Victor Bernier as well for GP racing. There are Mathieu Martin and Louis Perron for Seb Lejoux as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a real mixed bag in Porsche Cup. But while we were looking at that, checkered flag came out, and it's Tom Jackson fastest at the end of Q2.
Is indeed. Nice to see that Tom Jackson was able to keep that fastest time with his first and second sector that weren't his personal best, but then he had a flying third sector. He had set a very fast time before that, but unfortunately had his lap deleted due to track limits, and then managed to make up for it. And as you said, his teammate will be doing the hard work, I guess, doing the first and third qualifying session with why's his name just escaped me?
Naran.
Naran, thank you.
Yes. Xavier now's been a bit naughty or a bit clumsy here because he's taken the checkered flag twice, I think.
Oh.
Because he was coming across the line, but there was already a checkered flag next to his name on the timing screen. So either he didn't quite realise that he'd already met the checkered flag. Of course, this is going to delay the driver change there somewhat, and that's exactly what's happening at Get Speed at the moment with Tom Jackson strapping in Amir Naran. There is Tom. No, not 2. 1. You were P1, Tom. That's not what you're supposed to do to the camera.
I can't even with you sometimes. I'm just, let's move it on. He's, how old is he? Is he a millennial to do the peace sign?
He's 27.
No, he's not old enough to be doing peace sign for pictures, is he? Or is that a new cool thing for the kids as well now?
Who knows? Absolutely no idea.
I'm shocked that you don't know the cool things for the kids these days.
We're the same age, me and Tom.
That is a shocker in itself. Okay, moving on quickly. Tom Jackson needs to speak to you about his skincare routine.
Yeah, absolutely. He's 28. Sorry, I hadn't updated it. He's had his birthday this year, and I hadn't updated the...
So is he older than you?
He's 28, yes. No. He's marginally older than me, yes.
27?
Yeah, I'm 27.
Gosh. So, third part qualifying getting underway.
Thanks for that.
I didn't say anything.
It's what you didn't say.
You look fine. Gosh. Third part of qualifying getting underway, and Chris Stevens has had his ego bruised from Tom Jackson's great skincare routine. I'll ask him about it later. Give you a heads up.
Yeah, cheers.
Right. You look very similar, to be fair, in age. I'm not very good at knowing age, but it's just fun to wind you up.
Yeah, I know. Sticker set of Goodyear tyres going on the Seb Lejoux Racing Porsche. GP Racing there with well. Now, of course, there are some teams with 4 drivers for this 6 hour, but of course, there's only 3 qualifying sessions. And so, if you're GP Racing, for example, you lose out on having one of your silver class drivers in there. They've got 2 bronzes and 2 silvers, but your bronzes have to do the qualifying. And so, unless you're an all bronze lineup, in which case, you know, obviously that's part of the course. But if you are a mix of bronze and silvers, like that number 89 GP Racing Porsche, then one of the silvers is going to have to sacrifice a session.
Does that mean Loeb won't go out?
No, Loeb is in a 3-car lineup, so he will
yes, you
3-driver
lineup.
excuse me. Yes, Sébastien Loeb will be out in this session. There he is, in fact. Just see him pulling up in the queue at the end. 4th car in the queue, by the looks of it. And it should be in the number 7. Ooh, who did Q2? I didn't actually see who did it. I imagine if one of the silvers is going to sacrifice a session, it might be Romain Fav. But I can't remember if he did Q1. So maybe Olivier and Jan.
Romain Fav did Q1.
He did?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so then it'll have to be Olivier and Jan doing the remaining 2 sessions.
I think. We'll find out in a minute, but
then, yeah.
I'm
so
almost
Chevalier
certain
won't be doing a qualifying session by the looks of it.
we'll find out shortly when we find out who's in the car as the green flag is back underway. Obviously, there's no green flag that you can actually see. There's a
there was a yellow flag being waved right when you said that because
there's
the Formula car was being pushed through pit lane there. That is just to warn people in pit lane of a car being pushed across. But the green flag was being shown on the racetrack.
As Alexandra Lima's car was just being pulled past in the pit lane.
Yes.
I don't know why that car... Oh, the race is up next. That would make more sense.
They're probably getting it ready. Just pushed it out of scrutineering or something. It is Hugo Chevalier in the number 7 Porsche. Now I wonder if this is because of the rule we looked up in Magny-Cours, where unless you're if you're in UCS1, you have a bit more free reign about what you can do with your drivers with regard to the order you run them in qualifying. Whereas in UCS1, you are limited to your bronze driver having to do multiple sessions and not being able to do them consecutively as well. So Hugo Chevalier leading this queue of cars, and then Sébastien Loeb in the vortex behind. World Rally legend, the most successful rally driver in the world. Now at the head of the queue, and so I think we should just try and follow Seb as close as possible in this session. So now 50 years old and having retired from full-time competition after his 9th consecutive World Rally Championship in 2012. He has since gone on to do the Dakar Rally. He's been a regular at the Dakar Rally, in fact, since 2016, competing in the FIA GT Series, as we mentioned, World Touring Cars, the World Rally Cross as well, Extreme E champion as well from a couple of years ago.
Oh yes, that's the other one I was thinking of.
Yes, and of course Le Mans podium finisher with Pescarolo as well. If you name it, he's basically done it. And what is also very nice for Sébastien as well is that he is racing alongside his partner, not just in life, but in rallying as well. Lauren Godey is driving the number 21 Vortex this weekend as well. Not out in this session, but Sébastien Loeb's co-driver in rallying. They've won Rally du Var and the Azores Rally together. They live in Switzerland together with their family. And in fact, Laureen has driven for Sébastien's eponymous team in French, GT4. Wasn't the best start to the lap, though, for Sébastien Loeb. Looked to go a little bit wide on the exit of turn number 2. But nonetheless, continuing on his way. And I'm sure this is going to, well, it certainly looks very different to anything he's ever raced before, and it feels quite different as well. So he makes his way onto the Mistral and unleashes the Chevrolet engine. And this is very much what we're coming to expect from Vortex in the years to come, with the Vortex Challenge becoming a part of the European Endurance the Ultimate GT Endurance Cup for next year, which will be known as the Kennel GT Endurance Cup in 2025. But 5 or 6 vortexes expected for every race, with VIP and high-profile drivers making guest appearances. So we can expect more stuff like this next year, with drivers like Sébastien Loeb joining us for our races. The rest of this lap seems to be going very, very well for Loeb at the moment. Fastest in the middle sector, but he is the first car to actually break that timing beam. The only man going faster than him at the moment is Gregory Servet in the Haas Racing Team Audi. So this still looks like a very rapid lap for Sébastien Loeb, maybe enough to put him second fastest when the Audi gets across the line, but it certainly will put him fastest for a little bit. Little wobble on the way into Virage du Pont, but he'll be very used to handling that kind of behavior from a car. Comes across the line, and his first time is a 2:03.446. A little bit off the mark in terms of the fastest times we've had so far, which was Tom Jackson's 2:01.796. Here comes Gregory Servet. 2 purple sectors so far on this lap, and he now goes to the top of the times with a 2:0.8, 2.5 seconds quicker than the Vortex. Cracking lap there from the Haas Racing Team driver. Seb Lejoux is back with us this weekend, and he is in the pit lane with Alexandre.
Sébastien, une qualification un peu compliquée pour vous, me disait Stéphane. Pour lui en Q1 et pour vous en Q2, ça s'est passé comment?
Oh, c'était bien, on a gardé les mêmes pneus pour toutes les qualifs et on va essayer d'avoir les pneus neufs pour demain, histoire d'avoir des pneus neufs dès le départ et de ne pas consommer les pneus pour la qualif. Donc on part où on part, on n'est pas à 20 mètres près pour partir sur la place, sur le départ. Hein. Compliqué de pouvoir faire la pole, il y a beaucoup de pilotes confirmés ce week-end, donc voilà, on a fait au mieux.
Vous parliez de départ, la dernière fois, vous qui avez un grand starter, vous avez l'habitude de faire les départs, la dernière fois c'était Mathieu. Est-ce que pour une petite exclue, vous pouvez nous dire, ce sera vous, Mathieu, peut-être Stéphane demain?
Cette fois, ça sera moi qui fera le départ. On va laisser place à ces petits cars avec moi, ça sera mieux, histoire de ne pas gâcher ça. On va laisser Mathieu en 2e ou en 3e relais.
Et puis vous aurez le renfort de Louis Perrault, un autre pilote de Cup confirmé.
Tout à fait, on aura Louis Perrault avec nous, Mathieu Martins, donc, et Stéphane Perrin et moi-même.
Et l'objectif sera quand même à courte, gagner?
Totalement. On est là pour gagner.
Merci Sébastien.
De rien.
So Seb Lejoux back with us for a second race in the GT Endurance Cup. Just saying Q1 was rather complicated, but they are trying to save their new tyres. So they're not using them in qualifying, they're trying to save them for the race, which I'm sure, yeah, that is quite important considering we have a 6-hour as well. Planning to win in their category, and confirming that Seb will do the start tomorrow. So that solves one mystery for tomorrow. So Sébastien Loeb has gotten a little bit closer to Gregory Servet's benchmark time. The Frenchman is now down to a 2:01.934, so about a second away from the Haas Racing Team Audi.
He's just taken a 10th out of the first sector, though.
Yeah, this lap doesn't seem to be a very particularly hot one for Gregory Servet, so we'll wait for him to come through the split once again. I think he's about to do so imminently, in fact. Oh, no, it's not a good one either, this one. Yeah, 32.7 compared to... Well, actually, it's still quicker. It's still quicker than Loeb.
Oh, yeah, it's just a 32, not a 33.
Sorry, it's still quicker than Loeb, but it's not a personal best.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of time still to be found for Sébastien Loeb. Hugo Chevalier in the Porsche Cup car is third fastest overall at the moment, ahead of Amir Naran. So that is obviously the impact of the Silver Class driver being aboard that car, and currently ahead of the 417 car, which is the sister to be Autosport machine. So it's 1-2 in that category at the moment. Philippe Châtelet. And then Mathieu Martin in the Seb Lejoux car, although something tells me he hasn't quite put in the ultimate banger just yet. It's Mathieu Martin, very accomplished Porsche Cup racer in France.
Sorry, just seeing the final sector from Sébastien Loeb there. 51.6, which sets the fastest third sector. He hasn't gone fastest crossing the line here and remains second, but a blistering third sector from Sébastien Loeb.
So the Vortex working very well in that tight and twisty technical final sector has reduced the arrears to Gregory Sauvé by a tenth. So now just 9 tenths per second, which seems to all be being lost in the first and middle sectors. So Chevalier did improve on that last lap, but it's not registering as his best. I wonder if that's because there were some track limits involved in that one. But still third fastest for Chevalier. As we mentioned, competing in the GT Sprint Cup with the Mercedes DTM car, the ex-Lucas Auer machine. So Debard Automobiles giving him some nice toys to play with alongside Eric Debard. And also coaching Eric's daughter, Carla, in her first few races in Porsche Cup machinery as well. So the Porsche Cup battle closing out very nicely now with second, third and fourth all line astern in the timing order. So Mathieu Martin for Seb Ligier Racing now second fastest in Porsche Cup, ahead of Philippe Châtelet in the 2B Autosports car, and then Alex Homerson in the Pro Sport entry. And Alex Homerson being the NLS racer. This is his first event in a Cup car, having only just this year stepped up to GT4 machinery, which at the Nürburgring, the SP10 class. But the 26-year-old Belgian making the step up and learning a new car this weekend. The silver-rated driver is currently fourth fastest in the Porsche Cup category. Christophe Derigneau here in 7:01, eighth fastest overall as it stands in the previous generation Vortex. See how high that curve is at turn 12, Virage Bendor, and is being chased by the 22 car, Philippe Fertore. Bare carbon car with the scary teeth on the front of it. Which does remain in 11th overall at the moment, that 22 car. So Sébastien Loeb has brought the Vortex into pit lane. That looks like it's going to be all she wrote for the rally champion, as it is for Hugo Chevalier and Amir Naran as well in third and fourth respectively.
No point them going back out really at this point, is there?
No, I think they've found the time they're going to have. But Amir Naran, I think, doing his best lap of the weekend there in the 2:04s. So it's been a good qualifying for them, and there's no doubt that the 108 car has been consistently fast throughout the session. But the Vortex has been too. So, and actually, it must be said, so is the Haas Racing Team car as well, which might be a shoe-in for pole position. One car we haven't seen up at the top of the times is Vigeman. Alexandre Herbin is down there to find out why.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe sur cette Ferrari?
En fait, au moment de partir pour le bout de pit lane, la direction assistée répondait pas. Donc j'ai réussi à boucler le tour pour rentrer. En fait, la pompe de DA a lâché, elle a brûlé, donc on n'a pas de direction assistée, donc on ne peut pas rouler parce que c'est impossible. Donc voilà, je suis revenu. Et là, le but du jeu maintenant, ça va être d'essayer d'en trouver une de rechange parce que pour l'instant, nous, on n'a pas la pièce, donc on verra pour la course de demain du coup.
Si vous avez la chance d'y participer, et on l'espère grandement, comment va se dérouler cette course de 6 heures?
Bon, je serais tenté de dire 6 heures, ça va, ça nous relaisse 2 heures de plus. On partira, là, c'est sûr, du fond de grille. Ça, c'est pas grave. Ce qui compte, c'est de trouver la pièce pour être présent. On aimerait, on a envie de l'être parce que voilà, c'est quand même une belle course. Donc on va voir. On partira du fond, c'est pas très grave.
Merci Jean-Bernard, on l'espère aussi.
Jean-Bernard Bouvet there in the Vision, telling us that the power steering isn't working in the number 1 car. And of course, Bouvet is supposed to be out there in this session, but the number 1 Ferrari currently doesn't have a time in.
More worrying, it stopped working at the end of the pit lane. So they were not, well, they're obviously not going out again because it doesn't work. But yeah, concerning for the race tomorrow. Does it go into part firm? Is it like, can they work on it?
They can fix it, yeah, for sure. But it will be a back of the grid start for them, which, I mean, for a 6-hour race is not the biggest penalty in the world, but it's something they could have done without. That's for sure. If they wanted to try and head back to winning ways. Of course, as we mentioned, that car hasn't been victorious since the 3rd meeting of the season in Hockenheim. And so as the clock ticks down this final few seconds of qualifying, checkered flag is now out, but all dramas for number 94. That's one of the Alpine Cup cars, and the Chazelle Technology car with Charles-Nicolas Zuccarelli on board. That car there, silver class driver. Does seem to be stranded, and I couldn't quite see where that was on the racetrack.
Another issue.
Oh, now I can see.
Go on. Another issue I was going to say for car number 1. They want to be there tomorrow on the grid. The only issue they've got is that they have a missing piece that they need to fix the car, and they don't know if they're going to get it in time.
Okay, right. So it was a spin at the penultimate corner for Charles-Nicolas Zuccarelli. But as you saw, did manage to get going eventually. So they're going to have to source a solution. I mean, this does remind me, and this is the difference between, some of the more well-equipped teams, for example, where Getspeed in Mugello, remember they had, I forget which part specifically they needed to replace. I think it might have been the whole ECU unit. Because the electrics got fried in qualifying. They started from the back of the grid as well and won. They had to get that part from the base at the Nürburgring and get it back over to Mugello overnight. And the mechanics worked all the way through the night to get that car ready. And so I imagine someone from Visium is now hurrying back to their car and heading to the team base to get whatever they need.
Where's their team base? I don't know where their team base is.
No, I'm not actually too sure where specifically, because there's not a whole lot of information about the team online, to be honest with you. But it's the Ingmaral Horston run outfit. Final few cars meeting the checkered flag, and I would suggest that Gregory Servet and Xavier Nauf are a shoe-in for pole position, as the former has topped 2 of these qualifying sessions. So Gregory Servet ends Q3 fastest with a 2:08.81. Not quite as quick as what he... it is quicker than what he managed in Q1. A full second quicker than what he managed in Q1. Great performance gains there for Gregory Servet. And, could well be putting the... the Haas Racing Team Audi on pole position for tomorrow's 6-hour encounter. Certainly good preparation for their Golf 12-hour attempt as well, attempt number 2. Rafael Tirado here is fastest in UCS Light, the number 19 car. I think that's 3 different cars we've had fastest in UCS 3. Hugo Chevalier, best of the Porsche Cup runners as well, in 3rd position overall for To Be Autosport. So Still plenty to look out for when we go racing for 6 hours tomorrow morning through into early evening. As Alex Homerson here just brings the Pro Sport Porsche back into pit lane. Was 4th fastest in Porsche Cup for him. Second, third, 4th and 5th in that category, separated by not much at all. And Francois Jakubowski in the 288 car was also close with them as well. That's all from qualifying, so join us for the start of the Ultimate GT Endurance Cup finale at 10:40 tomorrow morning.
and welcome to the final round of the Ultimate Cup live from Paul Ricard. I was hoping we could pop down and speak to Enzo Richo on the grid, but it looks like the grid is being cleared already, as you can see, as the 3-minute board has been shown and racing is shortly to get underway. It's Enzo Richo versus Frédéric Boileau for the championship win. Huge grid of 21 drivers out there. Like I said, Enzo Richo in third place on the grid that just needs to finish in the points to seal the championship. So, grid being cleared and everything to play for Enzo Richo and Frédéric Boileau. Enzo Richo does start on third on the grid. And like I said, he hasn't got much to do in this.